welcome back to another week. Today we will be studying about the UNESCO, and this is still part of eco-countries and cities.
So UNESCO, what is it? UNESCO. What do you think?
Okay, have you heard of the name before? And have you heard of the name UN before? Okay. So think about what these images tell you and try to get an idea about what the UNESCO might be. Okay, so today we will learn about UNESCO to be able to explain the present social, economic and political situations of neighboring countries by accessing the internet to search information effectively, together with speaking, writing, to express opinions about various matters around ourselves.
Okay, vocabulary. Number one, global. An adjective, global. Global means all around the world. Global.
Okay, the second is economic. Economic. So economic means something that is related to the money. Okay? If I say the economic situation of a country, I am talking about the money situation of that country.
Then you have social, the adjective social, like to socialize, like the verb. To social, it's to have many countries together, they social together.
Okay, number four is political. So political refers to the politics. Okay? So the political situation of a country means who is getting elected, who is not getting elected, okay? Who is the mayor, who is the president, who is the prime minister. So all that is the political situation.
And then the heritage, the noun, the heritage, it's what someone can give to another one. So heritage. That's what a country can give to another country.
All right, so the thinking tool for this time is the KWL. So the first point, what do you think about the UNESCO? Okay, so what do you think the UNESCO is about? Where have you heard the name? And think about whether it relates to politics, think about whether it relates to culture, think about whether it relates to nature. Okay, so write down everything that you can think of when you think of the word UNESCO.
And then here, what to want to know. So how does UNESCO influence the present social, economic, and political situations of neighboring countries?
Okay, so here we have a video which gives us an introduction into why you need the United Nations. Okay, so what are the world's biggest problems? Have a look at this video and we'll see you on the other side.
In September 2015, the United Nations launched their 15-year plan to make the world a better place. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are focused on improvement and longevity and are a focal point of UN Week in New York City. Additionally, a number of summits provide the opportunity for world leaders to cooperate in achieving these global goals. So what exactly are the world's biggest problems? Well, first and foremost, poverty is an inescapable issue for nearly all developing countries. Roughly 1 in 7 people around the world live on less than $1.25 a day, and nearly half of the global population lives on just $2.50. While about a third of the world's poor are located in India, only 10 countries house 80% of the poorest people on Earth. Closely tied to poverty is the issue of hunger. Inadequate nutrition contributes to nearly half of all child deaths worldwide. And in regions like sub-Saharan Africa, 1 in 4 people are malnourished. As a result, nearly 800 million people don't have access to enough food to live healthy, active lives. Similarly, water and sanitation are absolute necessities. Yet nearly the same number of people without access to food lack access to water. And a third of the world's population risks disease by not having adequate sanitation. Another major issue for developing countries is a lack of educational opportunities. The UN predicted in 2011 that if all students had even basic reading skills, world poverty could be reduced by more than 10%. But illiteracy is an asymmetrical problem and affects considerably more women than men. Of roughly 780 million illiterate adults worldwide, 2/3 are female. As a result, women have considerably fewer opportunities, and it hurts a country's ability to progress economically without a fully educated workforce. This inequality is rampant and not exclusively relegated to gender. Economic inequality is also drawn along racial and social divides. Countries like Namibia see only a few thousand white landowners owning almost half of the country's agricultural land for a population of more than 2 million. In fact, land distribution has become an increasingly relevant issue. With man-made climate change, deforestation, and overfishing, the rapid environmental decline might be too late to reverse. Although organizations like the UN have implemented standards and worked to save forests, oceans, and the atmosphere, it continues to be a serious issue for the international community. The UN Summit's 17 global goals span from micro to macro and hope to contribute to solutions for the world's biggest problems. Through communication, training, and financial support, it's up to influential world leaders and average citizens to seek to improve the world. Since addressing issues like poverty and hunger, most countries have made considerable progress on every set goal. So we know that the United Nations has been effective working on these issues, but how effective has it been? Find out in our video.
The United Nations emerged after World War II with the objective of achieving a global balance of peace between world powers. Today, they have 193 member states, and they have roughly 100,000 soldiers or Blue Berets operating 16 separate peacekeeping missions around the globe.
Thanks for watching TestTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out. We'll see you next time.
Okay, welcome back. So here you have a kind of diagram. So the UNESCO is only one part of the UN. The UN was created after World War II to make sure such a big war never happens again. The goals of the United Nations are to keep world peace, to improve living conditions for people all around the world, and to make the world a better place.
Okay. So as you can see, this is the United Nations, and then all of these small little divisions do different roles for the United Nations. And they help to keep peace all over the world. And the UNESCO is just one part of the United Nations. Okay, so the UNESCO is a specialized agency of the United Nations aimed at promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, science, and culture. Okay? So the UNESCO helps countries to share their culture, to share their sciences, and it brings all the countries together, but their main focus is social interaction. So people getting socially associated with each other, and as we'll see in the next few slides, it also has to do with heritage sites.
So UNESCO is the conscience of the United Nations.
Okay, so here we have a video that will try and explain more functions of the United Nations and how it tries to bring about an interchange of social and cultural heritage between the countries.
The world needs more education, sciences, and culture to find sustainable solutions to the challenges of today, to build peace, combat climate change, and end extreme poverty. We must focus on innovation, creativity, and new ideas. We need to share knowledge so as to move forward. Every day, UNESCO trains and supports researchers, teachers, journalists, and artists to inform and educate, open our minds, and foster respect. Since 1945, UNESCO has acted as a laboratory of ideas, imagining tomorrow's world, building peace in the minds of men and women. Today, our mission is more relevant than ever, helping 260 million out-of-school children and young people get an education and teaching skills to nearly 800 million adults worldwide, 2/3 of them women, who can neither read nor write. We need to act now to protect human rights and dignity. The United Nations has defined 17 goals to achieve sustainable development by 2030. To succeed, we must invest in the forces that drive sustainable change. Train 70 million new teachers and ensure everybody can receive quality education. Ensure the transmission of heritage to new generations and embrace cultural diversity so that we may understand and respect one another. Defend freedom of expression and access to information. Strengthen scientific cooperation to protect our planet and its ocean. To achieve these pressing goals, we need to build bridges and stronger partnerships with governments, businesses, civil society and citizens. Join us today in turning these goals into reality. Together, let's mobilize our collective intelligence and bring out the best in our shared humanity.
Okay, so UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So these are places that are very important for human history, culture and tourism. The nations of the UN have agreed to protect these places for the future generations.
Okay, so the UNESCO will declare this site as a cultural heritage site. So then once that happens, it brings a lot of tourists to these places because people want to visit UNESCO heritage sites. And the countries are also very proud that their site has got this distinction or this award. So they also try to preserve historical sites.
So in your own words, can you describe UNESCO? What it is, what does it do, and what does UNESCO mean? You can write this for learned from the KWL.
Okay. And if you have any doubts, try to look at the video on UNESCO, the 2-minute video. That has a lot of information on what the UNESCO does and how it achieves social and cultural integration.
Okay, so what have you learned from this lesson? Don't forget to write everything in Thai and in English.
And finally, don't forget to do the KWL, which is the thinking tool for this lesson.
Okay, see you for the next lesson. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.